I wanted this film mainly because of the way my father lived. Unlike many parents, he never advised us be good, be truthful, be honest, be hardworking. This kind of advice he never gave. And his life itself was full of turbulence, suffering, a lot of endurance he needed to face his life, ill health. He used to have asthmatic bouts. He used to have the burden of a very, very big burden, or rather the duty of looking after a very, very big family. He lived in a place which was almost God forsaken. But at all this, what were the weapons by which he fought, battled in his life? They were love, compassion, boldness, and with all that, he also managed to help others and also find similarly situated persons who have suffered in various forms.
Sometime in the middle of the 19th century, in a village in Kerala called Mailattur, where it is said peacocks once danced, a man called Krishnapattar built a house on a piece of highland. The house came to be called Mettungal Medam, as it stood higher than the houses around, and the man came to be known as Mettungal Krishnapattar. A Brahmin who was an authority on Hindu scriptures and a Sanskrit scholar, Mettungal Krishnapattar settled down in Mailattur as a paddy cultivator, and thus began the Mettungal lineage of Mailattur, of which Dharmaraja Iyer, the man synonymous with the land of Wayanad in Kerala, is the most illustrious. Mettungal Krishnapattar was often invited by affluent families to officiate at private religious ceremonies. He travelled extensively in the south in the course of these engagements. On one such occasion, he was invited to the house of Pulpadi Nair in the Wayanad district of Kerala to oversee the 60th birthday celebrations of the head of the Pulpadi house. After the festivities ended, a pleased Pulpadi Nair gifted 3 acres of wetland and 1.5 acres of dry land to Krishnapattar. This gift ensured the foray of the Mettungal family into the then dreary land of Wayanad. Today, it is a planter's paradise. But in the 19th century, Wayanad was a neglected hilly area, malaria infested, with no roads to speak of. There were wild elephants in the jungle, and the jungle spilled over onto the meager roads. The journey from the nearest railhead was long, arduous, and mostly by foot or bullock cart, and made in stages in convoys. Men carried guns for protection from wild animals and dacoits. One had to be very courageous to travel in that land in those days. Krishnapattar and his sons had their land tilled, grew paddy, and built a thatched house for the family to use when they came to visit their land. The house was named Tanamula. The family soon acquired land around the original 3 acres, from 3 to 12 to 60 and more. The acreage grew with each generation of the Mettungal family. But as with all joint families, as the units grew larger, property had to be partitioned between the various branches. In the process of partition, the entire Wayanad property came to one branch of the family. The most illustrious son of the Mettungal family, Dharmaraja Iyer, was born into this branch and came to settle in Wayanad and change the destiny of the land and its people. Thus starts the story of a man and a land.
Our whole family got the message of his life not by his preachings, but by the way in which he lived. So if it had to be carried on to the next generation, it is only by portraying his life, without passing on any message, portraying his life. Oh, that is what probably, when I look back, find out in a moment when I said I would like to have this done, And what was the prompting reason for that? I think it is that he lived and showed to others by sheer living how to live without trying to say, you live like this, you live like that, you don't do that, you don't do this. He never said that.
Wayanad is part of the plateau system to which belong the hilly areas of Kodagu and parts of Mysore. A few settlers from the former district of Malabar, some groups of Adivasis, and some families of Muslims, Christians, and Jains comprised the entire population when the Mettungal family made its foray into the difficult terrain of Wayanad in the mid-19th century. Paddy was the only crop grown in the region. There were no cash crops, and later the only tea plantations were owned by the East India Company. The coffee bean was brought to India from Arabia by Bababuddin in the 17th century. In Malabar, the East India Company started the first coffee plantation in about 1799. At the turn of the 18th century, coffee came to Wayanad. It was the Mettungal family who pioneered coffee cultivation in the region. In the early 19th century, Arabica was the only variety of coffee grown in Wayanad. The Robusta variety was just being tried on an experimental basis. Paddy cultivation was not profitable anymore. Pepper was slowly becoming the mainstay. With the advent of the Second World War, pepper prices soared. The economy boomed and pepper cultivation became rampant. When the war ended, pepper prices crashed and a severe economic crisis scorched the area. Most cultivators were steeped in debt. There was no more demand for pepper or paddy or coffee. Land value fell. There was gloom and misery everywhere. At this point, Dharmaraja Iyer decided to return to Wayanad. There was a choice. He could abandon the land, leave Wayanad and take up government employment. Or he could stay back and try and till the land and make agriculture viable. He chose to stay back. The task on hand required much faith and perseverance, of which he had plenty.
In my life, I had several incidents. Be speaking of the way in which he lived without trying to preach, but showing by action how you should live. He was honest and truthful, and he was compassionate, helping everyone. But he never told a second person that he helped those people. Each and single instance of assistance that he did, the work that he did towards communal harmony, towards cooperative movement, towards Gandhiji's movement, towards independence, he never said, I did it. Because he was always knowing that he was an instrument of God. Even though he was not sitting in the puja room for a long time, I think his actions clearly showed that he had loved God, because he believed that without loving man, you cannot love God.
In 1921, Dharmaraj Iyer, along with Krishna Gowda and Munderi Sundara Iyer, joined the Congress movement. The first Congress meeting in Wayanad was held in Kalpetta in 1922. Prominent citizens like K.P. Keshava Menon, the chief editor of Mathrubhumi, the famous Malayalam newspaper, and Moidu Maulavi, a veteran Congress leader from Malabar and a well-known Islamic scholar and orator, were to attend this meeting along with local luminaries. The venue was the first floor of a building belonging to a local shopkeeper, Kunheed. The police, coming to know of the meeting, started patrolling the area. Many who had assembled at the venue left fearing police action. The owner of the building was threatened by the police, and he refused to let the meeting take place in the hall. Dharmaraj Iyer and others cleared some ground under a mango tree using their hands and spades, and the meeting was held without further hindrance. Thereon, Dharmaraj Iyer threw himself into the Congress movement.
I had one or two instances which I remembered about his silent suffering and silent compassionate activity. One is that in Kerala you had Kelappan, who was in the forefront of independence movement. He was known as the Kerala Gandhi. He was in jail for a long time. He was my father's friend, and they together formed the three-member district board of Malabar, which is now separated into 3 districts, Kozhikode, Kannur, Malappuram, 4 districts, Palakkad. When Kelappaji was in jail, as a boy, I used to go and collect the post eagerly and bring it home. Every day that was my work. And one of the posts contained a letter from Kelappaji written from the jail, central jail, saying that just a very curt little word, Dear Swami, in Malayalam, I am trying to say that in English, I am living happily in the jail. But I received a notice saying that my house and property are attached by the British government. He did not ask anything to be done by my father. And he said, yours lovingly. That was a postcard which I read when I passed it on, before I passed it on to my father. Next day morning, 6:15, I could see my father dressing up in his usual jibba and the tricolored shawl, going from here. And in those days, even to go to the place where, in the plains where Shoranur, where he lived, the Kelappaji lived, he has gone there and has come back, not in the evening, but the next day. The very next day, he asked me to post a letter. That letter also I read. That letter said, Dear Kelappaji, I have gone to your village. I have paid the money. Your attachment has been lifted. Please live peacefully. This incident, he has not told anybody. I knew it because I eavesdropped on his postcard.
About this time, Gandhiji started propagating the need for self-reliance and the virtues of hand-spun cloth, khadi. The khadi movement picked up great momentum in areas like Tirchur. In Wayanad, Dharmaraj Iyer trudged from place to place, extolling the virtues of the coarse hand-spun khadi and selling the fabric door to door. He was the first person to bring khadi into Wayanad. Later on, he was joined by his contemporaries Maniamgod Krishnegaudar and Munderi Sundarayar, among others. Soon afterwards, Dharmaraj Iyer got drawn into the cooperative movement unleashed by Mahatma Gandhi. He was convinced about how such a movement would help the debt-ridden farmers of Wayanad, and he started a primary cooperative society in Madakimala. The year was 1922. There were 21 members at the onset, and the maximum amount of money the society could lend was Rs 250. Dharmaraj Iyer was the honorary secretary and the daily operations were carried out from his residence. Eventually, Dharmaraj Iyer took over as the president of the cooperative society. By 1968, the society had 1500 members and a working capital of 7 lakh rupees. This primary cooperative society was instrumental in saving many debt-ridden farmers in Wayanad over the years, giving them a new lease of life and livelihood. In the course of the various social causes he espoused, Dharmaraj Iyer was associated with Subbagowda, a man who had inherited wealth and assets and wished to put them to good use. When Subbagowda passed away at a young age, he was 32, he left a will in which he appointed Dharmaraj Iyer as one of the executors whose job was to manage the properties and assets left behind by Subbagowda. After allowances paid out to Subbagowda's widow, the residue of the income was to be used for the welfare of the Harijans of Wayanad.
So one more thing, even though lots of people are doing pujas, spend a lot of time before the idol, before the temple, he never spent a lot of time in the puja room. But he knew what was God. Because I remember when he was doing a little bit of the 10-minute puja in the morning, there was one scheduled tribe, Adivasi boy called Achappan. He used to collect flowers in the morning and give it to my father. Father was a busy man because the politics is there and so many, the bank is there, the cooperative movement is there, the school is there, and the roads were all not at all good. We can't travel the way we can travel in such small little time. So even travel takes a lot of time. So he has got to get himself busy very early in the morning. This man used to see from this very house, through the windows, standing outside, he used to faithfully watch the puja and partake in it mentally. And my father also noticed that he was taking bath and then only taking the flowers He was taking bath and then only plucking the flowers for the puja. One day my father said, please come and sit near me. He called Achappan, called him to come and sit. My mother was a little the orthodox type, and he said, why are you doing that? In those days untouchability was there, all sorts of things were there. My father said, in a chiding way, he told my mother, you don't know, he is closer, much closer to God than me. So he put that man above him. So religion did not matter to him. Caste did not matter to him. That is what Moidu Maulavi also, the person who completed the centenary age and who was a congressman, who was in the jail for pre-independence movement, wrote in his memoirs about my father in 1934. His son wrote a piece of that to me. Probably you will be seeing it. He stated that in 1934, when he came out of the jail, my father was the person, along with another person, who received him from the jail coming out, and he has returned. At that time, when even untouchability was there, my father considered every human being as the son of God, so that he knew no religion, even at that time. And he always had the same kind of equanimity, same kind of treatment, same kind of love, which he showed only in action, not in words. He never told anybody, I remember, he never told anybody, I love you. These days, these words are abused and much used. But he never told, even me, he has never told me that I love you. But he showed it by his actions. This is probably what prompted me to put it in some form where the future generation can use it.
Being faithful followers of Mahatma Gandhi's doctrines, Dharmaraja Iyer and his associates decided to invite the Mahatma to Wayanad. Their plan was to sell part of Subba Gowda's assets and hand it over to Gandhi's Harijan Welfare Fund. When the Mahatma came to Madakimala in Wayanad in 1934, he inaugurated the local Harijan Welfare Center, which was housed in the late Subba Gowda's residence.
Once the Chief Minister of Kerala was here, and having come here, and they were good friends when they were in the freedom movement, he wanted to visit my father, who was in the hospital and who was to die within another few days. My father said, your declaration of emergency is against democracy, and if I am able to stand up and fight for it, I will fight against you. That showed his transparency. He did not keep something in his heart and tell something else. Then later on he asked one question, what can I do for you, Swami? My father immediately answered yes. We were all surprised because my father wanted nothing from politics. We were all surprised what he is going to ask. He said, there is one man who has lost both his legs in this hospital. I met him, and he is on a wheelchair of the hospital. He has no way to live. You must give him a wheelchair and also a what they call mobile shop. In Malayalam we call it as kumiti shop, pan parag shops and all that small little petty shop. Immediately Karunakaran went there, asked his private secretary, they went and interviewed him. It was arranged through his Chief Minister's Relief Fund. But when I met the other gentleman who was full of tears, this man who has lost his limbs, he told me, I never told Swami that I want this. But yet, when a big man came, a chief minister came, he remembered my needs, even without my telling him. I only have met him while he was going on a small evening walk and I was rolling on in my wheelchair. He asked me some questions, where I am coming from and how the accident took place. He never asked anything more, but he remembered my needs. A person who has almost showed his hands in a bid to assault my father. But later on in life, he was helped by my father. His family was saved. And that kind of an incident, how else you can pass it on to the next generation? Because he has not written anything about it. So someone has to say that this is the way we should live, because if you don't love man, you cannot love God. This is the principle with which he has lived.
Because of malaria, which was rampant, and because the land was rather wild in those days, and transport into Wayanad was almost non-existent, Mettungal women were not allowed to stay on for long periods in Wayanad. They would come for short visits and go back. Later on, they would come on a more permanent basis, which meant 6 months in Wayanad and 6 months in Mailattur. Dharmaraj Iyer brought his wife to Wayanad only after his mother's death. Krishna Gowda, a contemporary of Dharmaraj Iyer's father, had 2 sons who had finished their lower primary but were too young to go to high school in Calicut. Krishna Gowda decided that Dharmaraj Iyer was the best person to take care of his son's education and entrusted him with the responsibility of their schooling right there in Wayanad. This was in 1926. Others too sent their children to Dharmaraj Iyer, who would teach them whenever he had time on his hands. Soon, a small school came into being with Dharmaraj Iyer and his brother Ramakrishnan taking turns at teaching.
I'm really proud to say that I'm a native of Wayanad district because of that reason. When I was quite young, I got the opportunity to meet with Dharmaraj Iyer. He is really a social reformer. Even the layman, the poor man and the tribal sector, persons those who are in tribal sector, they do remember about him with a great reverence. He helped them in many ways. He has started a bank in Madaki itself. It's mainly for poor people. Normally, all of the poor people belongs to poor family. They used to approach that bank for loans and all, and get their green card from that bank itself, and do every transaction with that bank only. At present, his son, Mr. Venkata Subramaniam, is managing that bank. He is the president of that bank.
Being a man of honesty and integrity, Dharmaraj Iyer was burdened with tasks thrust upon him by family members and his associates. Many a person named him the trustee of their properties, the guardian of their children, and the manager of their assets in their wills, and after their deaths, Dharmaraj Iyer's responsibilities were constantly being added to. Wayanad and the Mettungal family saw times of immense financial distress in the 2 decades that spanned the 1920s and the 1940s. Dharmaraj Iyer lost his mother during this period. It was a very painful and miserable interlude in his life. And it was only his positive attitude and faith in God and a benevolent providence that saw him through this phase.
இந்த ஜம்பக மரம் தாத்தாக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிச்ச இடம். அவர் வச்ச மரம் இது. அதுக்கடியில் இந்த ஷூட்டிங் நடக்கிறது எனக்கு ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமாக இருக்குது. தாத்தா நாட்டுக்காகவும் ஃபேமிலிக்காகவும் செய்த காரியம் சொல்லில் அடங்காது. சீரியல் பார்த்து தெரிஞ்சுங்க, அவ்வளோதான். அவருக்கு சச்சிதானந்தா, இந்த சாமி சச்சிதானந்தா இந்த குடும்பத்தில் அவதாரம் பண்ணினார். அவர் கூட நாங்களும் பிரதர் சிஸ்டருங்கிற நிலையில் இன்றைக்கும் பழகிக்கிட்டு இருக்கோம். அதுவும் ஒரு பெரிய புண்ணியம் எங்களுக்கு. அது அந்த புண்ணியம் தான் முக்கியம் அஸ்திவாரம் எல்லாத்துக்கும்.
In the 1930s, the situation slowly began to change. The great event that turned the tide was that oranges came to Wayanad. The planting and nurturing and subsequent harvesting of oranges saw some sort of financial stability return to Wayanad. In his plantations, between crops of coffee and pepper, Dharmaraj Iyer planted oranges. It ensured a good income for the next half decade or so, after which this source of income too died out. Around this time, Dharmaraj Iyer was elected director of the Malabar District Cooperative Bank. He was also the elected Wayanad member of the Cooperative Federation. In 1937, he was re-elected director of the same bank. The Wayanad properties, however, continued to be under a cloud of debt. Dharmaraj Iyer suggested to his father that they sell the lands and clear all outstanding debts. His father, however, was not in favor of the suggestion. He asked that the land be sold only after he was no more. He believed that the economic situation would improve soon and that there would be no need for the lands to be sold. It was as he said. Within a year of Dharmaraj Iyer's father's death, the situation changed. Dharmaraj Iyer was able to dispose of a small portion of his land in Palakkad and clear all the debts accruing to the land in Wayanad. When orange cultivation turned sour after a decade of good returns, the farmers of Wayanad took to planting Robusta coffee in a big way. They started interplanting it with pepper in their plantations. By the time of the advent of the Second World War, 20,000 acres were under Robusta coffee cultivation in Wayanad. After doing well initially, this too spiraled downwards, mostly due to factors beyond the control of farmers. It was a terrible time financially, and farmers stared total ruin in their face. It was then that a few leading planters like F.E. James and Ivor Bull, founder of Consolidated Coffee, put pressure on the government to start a coffee market expansion mechanism like a coffee board. As a result, the Coffee Market Expansion Ordinance was promulgated. The Coffee Board came into being in Bangalore. Despite having a large area under coffee cultivation, till 1946, no one was nominated to the Coffee Board from Wayanad or Kerala. However, areas like the Nilgiris, where coffee cultivation was not extensive, had representation. To fight this injustice, Dharmaraj Iyer formed the Wayanad Coffee Growers Association to protect and project the interests of coffee growers in the region. He served as its president for 20 long years. During this time, he strongly advocated the inclusion of Wayanad in the representation at the Coffee Board and fought hard against its non-inclusion. The government finally accepted the recommendations of the Wayanad Coffee Growers Association, and Dharmaraj Iyer was nominated to the Coffee Board as a member from Wayanad. He continued as member of the Coffee Board till 1965, when he retired citing old age. His outstanding achievements during his tenure at the Coffee Board were that he managed to elevate the status of Robusta coffee cultivation and also to bring in the system of bonus payments. Dharmaraj Iyer devoted a large part of his life to the betterment of the lot of farmers and planters in Wayanad. He was equally active in bringing education to Wayanad and fostering it till it took root and grew into a strong movement. He was instrumental in setting up the first high school in the area.
He made several attempts to develop the common man, ordinary people of Wayanad district. With his initiativeness, when Gandhiji visited Wayanad, he has made many contributions to Gandhiji for freedom struggle. Because of his interest, with the help of Sri Jinachandran and others, they started a school in Wayanad. There is SKMJ High School. He was the correspondent of our school, SKMJ Higher Secondary School, Calcutta. And still, his son, Advocate Venkat Subramaniam, is leading more or less the same paths to develop the poor people. They are assisting the poor people by all means, by giving alms and giving loan and giving proper direction in their day-to-day life. And also he is one of the leading advocates here in Wayanad district.
Functioning on 14th June 1944 in temporary sheds with thatched roofs. It was called the Wayanad High School. In 1948, the first batch of students, including Dharmaraj Iyer's daughter Parvati, appeared for the SSLC examination. Parvati was the first girl from Wayanad to take this exam. Krishna Gowda's son Jinnachandran worked alongside Dharmaraj Iyer in bringing education to Wayanad. A few years after the Wayanad High School came into being, he expressed his desire to take over the running over of the school and name it after his father. After approval from the school committee, the school was renamed the Subbakrishna Memorial Jain School. Dharmaraj Iyer set up a school in North Wayanad too and was on the school board for many years.
ഞാൻ ഇന്ത്യ സിമെൻസിൽ എന്നോട് அப்பா ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கிறது பாருக்குட்டி தட் இஸ் என்னோட சிஸ்டர் இன்லா அங்கே எங்கள் அப்பா கூட அத்திம்பேர் ஒர்க் பண்ணிகிட்டு இருந்தா அப்படி எங்களுக்கு பழக்கம் இருந்தது பை சான்ஸில் என்னோட ஜாதகம் சேர்ந்துட்டு எனக்கு முன்னாலே என்னோட தங்கை இங்கே வந்து நல்ல அபிப்பிராயம் சொன்னேன் அதனால நாங்கள் எங்கள் அப்பா இந்த கல்யாணம் தீர்ச்சியாக்கினேன் அப்புறம் இங்கே வந்ததுக்கப்புறம் நான் வரும்போது கரண்ட்டு கூட இல்லை ஆனாலும் எனக்கு இந்த தாத்தா அவ்வளோ எங்கிட்ட பிரியமாக இருக்கிறதுனால எனக்கு அந்த இந்த டிஃபெக்ட்ஸ் ஒன்றுமே தெரியாமல் நான் வளர்ந்தேன் அதுவரை எனக்கு டாக்டர்ன்றா மாதிரியே என்ன எங்கிட்ட பழகிட்டில்ல அவ்வளோ தூரத்துக்கு எங்கிட்ட ஸ்நேகமாகவும் இருந்திருக்கா அம்மையோடு இதில் தாத்தாவோட நல்ல நல்ல காரியங்கள் செய்கிறத நான் கேட்டு മനസ്സിലാക്കി அப்பாவோட சாக்ரிஃபைஸும் அப்பாவோட நல்ல சுபாவங்களும் இங்கே நடக்கிற எல்லா காரியங்களுக்கும் அப்பா தான் காரணங்கிறத நான் മനസ്സിലാക്കിയിട്ട് எங்கள் அப்பா கூட சொல்லுவா உன்னோட மாமனாரே கோவில் வச்சு கும்பிட்டா கூட தப்பில்லைன்னு சொல்லுவா அத்தனை தூரத்துக்கு எனக்கு ரெஸ்பெக்ட் உண்டு என்னோட தாத்தா என்னோட குழந்தைகள் எல்லாம் 6:30 மணி அடித்தா கரெக்டாக கை கால் அலம்பி ஜெபிக்க வரணும் படுத்த படுக்கையாக இருந்தாலும் கூடி அங்கே ஸ்லோகம் சொல்லி கொடுப்பா குழந்தைகளுக்கு வரலேனா பொங்கடை கடந்து சொல்லுவா ஆனாலும் அந்த குழந்தைகள் கரெக்டாக வந்து தாத்தாட்ட ஸ்லோகங்கள் படித்து இன்றைக்கும் அந்த குழந்தைகள் தாத்தாவோடு ரெஸ்பெக்டில் எவ்வளோ மனசில் பதியணுமோ அத்தனை அழகாக பதிஞ்சு இருக்கிற மாதிரி தாத்தாவோட இதை ஒரு நாளும் எங்களுக்கு மறக்க முடியாது தாத்தா ஒரு நாளும் எங்களுக்கு இது பண்ண முடியாது தெய்வம் மாதிரியாக்க எங்களுக்கு எல்லாம் அவ்வளோ தூரத்துக்கு எங்களை எல்லோரும் ஒரு நாள் கூட கோச்சுன்றது கிடையாது ஒரு நாள் கூட இது பண்ணினது கிடையாது நகர்ந்து நில்லுன்னு சொன்னது கிடையாது அவ்வளோ தூரத்துக்கு எங்கள்கிட்ட ஃப்ரீயாக இருந்திருக்கா சந்தோஷமாகவும் நாங்கள் இருந்திருக்கோம்
Dharmaraj Iyer was a progressive thinker and ahead of the times he lived in. He did not give credence to caste or community in spite of belonging to a conservative Brahmin family. He was a great social reformer and he worked hard to foster communal harmony. Along with Krishna Gowda, Dharmaraj Iyer was responsible for bringing the district of Wayanad into the mainstream of the nation.
1952 ഞാൻ ആദ്യമായി ധർമ്മരാജയ്യരെ കാണുന്നത് ധർമ്മരാജയ്യരുടെ ജന്മസ്ഥലമായ മേലാർകോട് വെച്ച് മേലാർകോടാണ് എൻ്റെ അച്ഛൻ്റെയും ജന്മനാട് അദ്ദേഹവും എൻ്റെ അച്ഛനും ബാല്യകാല സുഹൃത്തുക്കളായിരുന്നു മേലാർകോട് വന്ന അവസരത്തിൽ ഞാൻ അന്ന് അവിടെയുള്ള ഒരു സ്കൂളിൽ അധ്യാപകനായി ജോലി ചെയ്തിരുന്നു ധർമ്മരാജയ്യരെ കണ്ട ഉടനെ അദ്ദേഹം വയനാട്ടിൽ പുതുതായിട്ടൊരു സ്കൂൾ തുടങ്ങിയിട്ടുണ്ടെന്നും അവിടെ അധ്യാപകരെ ആവശ്യമുണ്ടെന്നും അതുകൊണ്ട് വയനാട്ടിലേക്ക് വരണമെന്നും എന്നോട് ആവശ്യപ്പെട്ടു ഞാനത് ആദ്യം അത്ര കാര്യമായിട്ട് കണക്കാക്കിയില്ല ജൂൺ 16 സ്കൂൾ തുറന്ന് ഒരു 2 ആഴ്ച കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് ഒരു ടെലഗ്രാമാണ് വന്നത് യു ആർ അപ്പോയിൻറ്റഡ് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ഇമ്മീഡിയറ്റ്ലി എന്നും പറഞ്ഞു അപ്പോൾ എൻ്റെ ഒരു സുഹൃത്തും കൂടി ആ നാട്ടുകാരനായിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു അദ്ദേഹത്തിനും ഇവിടെ ഈ സ്കൂളിൽ ജോലി കൊടുക്കാമെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു ഞങ്ങൾ രണ്ടാളും കൂടിയിട്ടാണ് കൽപ്പറ്റയ്ക്ക് വന്നത് 1952 ജൂൺ 16 ഞാൻ അവിടെ ജോയിൻ ചെയ്തത് അന്ന് തന്നെ ധർമ്മരാജയ്യർ സ്കൂൾ വന്നിരുന്നു ഇവിടെ വന്നതിന് ശേഷമാണ് ഇവിടെയുള്ള ധർമ്മരാജയ്യരുടെ പ്രവർത്തനത്തെപ്പറ്റി എനിക്ക് മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ അവസരമുണ്ടായത് വയനാട്ടിൽ ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു ഹൈസ്കൂള് സ്ഥാപിതമാകാൻ തന്നെ കാരണം ധർമ്മരാജയ്യരുടെ പ്രേരണ കൊണ്ട് ജിനചന്ദ്രൻ അതിനെ ശ്രമിക്കുകയും ഒരു ഹൈസ്കൂൾ സ്ഥാപിക്കുകയാണ് ഉണ്ടായത് പിന്നെ സ്കൂളിൻ്റെ എല്ലാ കാര്യങ്ങളിലും ധർമ്മരാജയ്യർ തന്നെയാണ് പിന്നിൽ നിന്ന് പ്രവർത്തിച്ചിരുന്നത് സ്കൂളിൻ്റെ എല്ലാ കാര്യങ്ങളിലും ധർമ്മരാജയ്യർ പങ്കെടുത്തിരുന്നു അധ്യാപകരെ നിയമിക്കുന്നതിലും സ്കൂളിലുണ്ടാവുന്ന എന്ത് പ്രശ്നങ്ങളും വേണ്ട വിധത്തിൽ കൈകാര്യം ചെയ്ത് അതിന് പരിഹാരം ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്നതിലും ധർമ്മരാജയ്യർ മുന്നിട്ട് നിന്നിരുന്നു അധ്യാപകർക്കെന്നല്ല വിദ്യാർത്ഥികൾക്കും നാട്ടുകാർക്കും പ്രിയങ്കരനായ ഒരു മാന്യ മഹാദേഹമാണ് അദ്ദേഹമെന്ന് ഞാൻ ക്രമേണ മനസ്സിലാക്കി. 2 ആഴ്ച കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ ഒരു സുഹൃത്ത്, ഒരു ഗൗഡർ, ഒരു സമ്പന്നനാണ് അദ്ദേഹം, പക്ഷേ മിസ്മാനേജ്മെൻറ്റ് കൊണ്ട് അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് വളരെയേറെ കടബാധ്യത വന്നു. അതുകൊണ്ട് അദ്ദേഹത്തെ ഏതെങ്കിലും തരത്തിൽ നന്നാക്കണമെന്നുള്ള വിചാരം കൊണ്ട് ധർമ്മരാജയ്യർ എന്നോട് ഇവിടെ വന്ന് താമസിക്കണമെന്ന് നിർബന്ധിച്ചു. മറ്റൊരു വീട്ടിൽ താമസിക്കാൻ എനിക്ക് വൈമുഖ്യമുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. എങ്കിലും ധർമ്മരാജയ്യരാണല്ലോ പറയുന്നത്, അതുകൊണ്ട് അത് അനുസരിക്കാതിരിക്കാൻ യാതൊരു നിർവാഹവുമില്ല എന്നതുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ അഭ്യർത്ഥന അനുസരിച്ച് ആ വീട്ടിൽ വന്ന് താമസിച്ചു. 8 കൊല്ലം അവരുടെ വീട്ടിലാണ് താമസിച്ചത്. ആ 8 കൊല്ലം കൊണ്ട് അവരുടെ എല്ലാ കടബാധ്യതയും തീർക്കാനും അവരെ ആ കുട്ടികളെയൊക്കെ പഠിപ്പിച്ച് നന്നാക്കാനും എനിക്ക് സാധിച്ചു. ആ കുട്ടികളൊക്കെ ഇന്ന് നല്ല നിലയിൽ എത്തിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. അതിലെ ഒരു മകനാണ് ഞങ്ങളുടെ സ്കൂളിൽ തന്നെ അധ്യാപകനായി ഹെഡ് മാസ്റ്ററായി റിട്ടയർ ചെയ്തത്. ആ കുട്ടികളായിട്ട് അവരുടെ ഫാമിലിയായിട്ട് ഞാൻ ഒരു കുടുംബത്തെ മാതിരി തന്നെയാണ് ഇപ്പോഴും കഴിഞ്ഞുകൂടുന്നത്. അതിനുള്ള കാരണക്കാരൻ ധർമ്മരാജയ്യരാണ്. പിന്നെ ഞാൻ ഇവിടെ താമസിക്കുന്ന കാലത്ത് ആഴ്ചയിൽ ഒരു ദിവസമെങ്കിലും സ്വാമിയെ കാണാതിരിക്കില്ല. ഞാൻ അവിടെ പോകാറുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ സ്വാമിയുടെ എല്ലാ കാര്യങ്ങളെപ്പറ്റിയും എനിക്കറിയാം. അദ്ദേഹം എങ്ങനെയാണ് നാട്ടുകാരെ സഹായിച്ചിരുന്നത്. ഇത്രയും പ്രിൻസിപ്പിൾഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു മനുഷ്യനെ കാണാൻ കിട്ടില്ല. തന്നെക്കാളും എത്രയോ താഴ്ന്ന നിലയിലുള്ള ആളായാലും ശരി, ഉയർന്ന നിലയിലുള്ള ആളായാലും ശരി, ഏതൊരു വിഷമം വന്നാലും അവരെ സഹായിക്കാൻ അദ്ദേഹം എന്നും തയ്യാറായിരുന്നു. ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ളൊരു മനുഷ്യനെ കണ്ടുകിട്ടുക പ്രയാസമാണ്. ഞങ്ങളൊക്കെ അദ്ദേഹത്തെ അൺക്രൗണ്ട് കിങ് ഓഫ് വയനാട് എന്നാണ് പറയുക. ഹി വാസ് ആൻ അൺക്രൗണ്ട് കിങ് ഓഫ് വയനാട്. അദ്ദേഹം കോൺഗ്രസ്സിൽ അടിയുറച്ച് വിശ്വസിക്കുന്ന ഒരാളായിരുന്നു. എങ്കിലും മറ്റ് പാർട്ടികളിൽപ്പെട്ട ആൾക്കാരെ കൂടി സഹായിക്കാൻ അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് യാതൊരു വൈമുഖ്യം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ല എന്നുള്ളതിന് എത്രയോ തെളിവുകൾ എനിക്കറിയാം. എനിക്ക് തന്നെ പല അനുഭവങ്ങളും ഉണ്ടായിട്ടുണ്ട്. അങ്ങനൊരു സ്നേഹസമ്പന്നനായ ഒരു മനുഷ്യനാണ് അദ്ദേഹം. അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ ആദർശങ്ങൾ പിന്തുടരേണ്ടത് അവരുടെ അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ തലമുറയിൽപ്പെട്ടവർക്കും പിന്നെ ഇന്ന് മാത്രമല്ല ഈ നാട്ടുകാർക്ക് മുഴുവൻ ഒരു പ്രചോദനം നൽകുന്ന ഒരു കാര്യമാണ് അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ പ്രിൻസിപ്പിൾ, അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ ആദർശങ്ങൾ പിന്തുടരുക എന്നുള്ളത്. പക്ഷേ ഒരു കാര്യം എനിക്കറിയാം, അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ മകൻ മിസ്റ്റർ രമണി ധർമ്മരാജയ്യരെ പോലെ തന്നെ നല്ല പേര് സമ്പാദിച്ച ഒരാളാണ്. അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ അച്ഛൻ്റെ പേര് നിലനിർത്തുന്ന ഒരാളാണ്. എല്ലാവരാലും ബഹുമാനിക്കപ്പെടുന്ന ഒരാളാണ്. അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ രാഷ്ട്രീയ അഭിപ്രായത്തോട് വിയോജിപ്പുള്ള ഒരാൾ ഒരു ജോലിക്ക് വേണ്ടി അദ്ദേഹത്തെ സമീപിക്കുകയുണ്ടായി. അയാൾ ഞങ്ങൾ ഒന്നിച്ച് ബാഡ്മിൻ്റൺ കളിച്ച് ഉള്ള സുഹൃത്തുക്കളായിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ അയാൾ ഞങ്ങളുടെയൊക്കെ ആദർശത്തിന് വിപരീതമായ ആദർശമുള്ള ഒരു മനുഷ്യനാണ്. എങ്കിൽ കൂടി അദ്ദേഹം ഒരു ജോലിക്ക് വേണ്ടി പോയപ്പോഴും മനോഹരമായ ഒരു റെക്കമെൻഡേഷൻ ലെറ്ററാണ് കൊടുത്തത്. അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് ആ ജോലി കിട്ടുകയും ചെയ്തു. അതിനുശേഷം അദ്ദേഹം വളരെയേറെ സമ്പാദിച്ച് അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ മക്കളെയൊക്കെ നല്ല സ്ഥിതിയിലാക്കി. ഇന്ന് വലിയ കോടീശ്വരന്മാരാണ് അയാളുടെ മക്കളിപ്പോൾ. വിക്രമൻ നായരൻ എന്നാണ് അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ പേര്. ധർമ്മരാജയ്യരുടെ റെക്കമെൻഡേഷൻ കൊണ്ട് കിട്ടിയ ജോലിയാണ്. ആ ജോലിയിൽ നിന്നാണ് അദ്ദേഹം വലിയ സമ്പന്നനായത്. അതായത് എക്സ്പോർട്ട്, മറ്റേ ഈ ടെക്സ്റ്റൈൽ എക്സ്പോർട്ട് ബിസിനസ് തുടങ്ങി. അങ്ങനെ അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ മക്കളെയും കൂടിയിട്ട് അതിൽ ഉൾപ്പെടുത്തി. ഇപ്പോൾ ആ മക്കൾ മദ്രാസിൽ വലിയ സ്ഥിതിയിലിരിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. പറയാൻ ധർമ്മരാജയ്യരുടെ ആദർശത്തിന് എതിര് നിന്ന ആളാണ് അദ്ദേഹം. എന്ന് മാത്രമല്ല അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് എതിരായിട്ട് പിന്നെ ഈ രാഷ്ട്രീയ പ്രവർത്തനം നടത്തിയിട്ടുള്ള ആളുമാണ്. എന്നിട്ട് പോലും ഒരു റെക്കമെൻഡേഷൻ ലെറ്റർ കൊടുക്കാൻ അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് മടിയുണ്ടായില്ല. അതാണ് ധർമ്മരാജയ്യർ.
Dharmaraja Iyer was an ardent freedom fighter and an educationist. Fortunate was the land of Wayanad to have been the Karma Bhumi of Dharmaraja Iyer, and fortunate were the people of Wayanad to have him walk amongst them.